Josh Aaron crashed out. I mean, you side, Reese, you were there. He was riding on the limits. I mean, he was trying to pull away a little bit. Um, what are you guys' thoughts on that? Do you go back to what I said earlier about if he had a teammate, would it be a little bit better for him as well? Because he's carrying the load and he's fighting with two Yamahas, which either one has the potential to win. And at the moment, Bobby could be able to win the championship.
How do I put this? I mean, watching Aaron crash. I mean, I said in the beginning. I mean, the points value was so close. I mean, there was no. There's no room for any kind of error from anybody. I mean, any error is going to open the championship wide open. But Aaron was pushing on the limit. He did tuck the. If you watch it, he tucked the front. But as we was all stating, Heron is very smart. And if Heron would have got out front, Heron was going to play the game of trying to control the race and control the race pace, where Bobby can't get in front or late break or try to keep Bobby behind him. Because no matter how you did it or how you played it, Bobby was going to get in front of him because Bobby was faster than Heron all weekend. Bobby was the fastest one out there. So if Bobby can stiff it up, and as Lewis knows, Bobby's not the dude to play with. He's coming for you. He is somebody to come for you. He's coming. So, but Heron can play the game very well. Heron's very smart. He's a veteran. He's been in the game for years and years. He's done it with Eslick. He's done it with a lot of guys. So he could get out front, slow that pace down, block past you, frustrate the heck out of you, and make you wear out faster than he is. So, but just not having that extra blockage or that extra guy out there, like you said, he's carrying the whole weight of that team.
Yeah. What are your thoughts, TJ?
Yeah, race one was good with, Aaron finished in the top. But the second race, it was a bummer to see him going down. I like to see competitive racing. But like Reese was saying, Bobby pretty much had it on lock, from the beginning of the weekend till race two. Race one, he won by, I think, like 8 seconds or something like that. So, like, he was, I feel like he was just ready for the weekend. And I feel like Heron knew what he had to lose and just was a little aggressive. Didn't want to see Bobby get out front like that. And unfortunately took the front. But we know he's a fighter. And like I said, he still was able to get back on the bike and still was able to salvage a couple of points. Was definitely necessary because now the championship's wide open between three riders. So,
yep.
Yeah, it is. What are your thoughts, Lewis? And just touch on the championship being open a little bit because three different manufacturers, pretty dope. And what are we talking? Less than 16 points between 1 and 3.
I mean, this is racing. We know what happens. You can you try to get that big lead at the beginning of the year or try to get a lead and try to maintain it. But you're always 1 or 2 crashes or mechanical away from the championship getting tight again. And it just happened that Bobby's coming on strong the last 2 events. I mean, they've made a big deal out of it because it hasn't happened in a while, but he's won. For him, it's never happened. I mean, he's won 4 in a row. Never happened. That's a hell of an accomplishment for him in general. But I guess he's getting that confidence and the team is helping him and everything's kind of coming together just at the right time where he was able to pull off some good victories, gather back a bunch of points. And then the second day, Heron just happened to throw the bike down the road and Bobby was there to capitalize. Bobby was there to pick up the pieces, do what he has to do. I mean, during the race, I'll be honest with you, as the race went on, I kept thinking to myself, like, I wonder if they should put something out on the pit board to like let Bobby know, like, you can kind of chill a little bit. But the problem with Bobby is if you tell Bobby to chill, he'll probably throw it in the dumpster too because he's not thinking at 100%. And you don't want Bobby not thinking 100%. If he's thinking 100%, he doesn't make mistakes. It's when he doesn't think at 100% that he makes mistakes. So you better off, you know what? Let him go a second and a quarter faster than everybody else. Because as soon as I tell him to slow down by a quarter second, the crash truck's going to go out and get the bike. So just let him ride his ride. And I mean, he won the first race by 7 seconds. He won the second race by 14 seconds.
Right.
And at the end of the race, the two fastest guys out there, I mean, he was still lapping faster by a second than almost everybody else. And so, you know, I'm glad that it's kind of come together for him. The next 3 rounds are going to be really interesting because Mid Ohio is a good place for Bobby. He did well last year, but Mid Ohio is a good place for Herrin. So maybe these guys kind of are a little bit more level playing field and can battle out a little bit more there. We'll see what Cam brings to that next event and what everybody else. But at least now, you know, it's not a runaway. Nobody's winning with 2 rounds left. At least I hope not. You know, if everything goes well, it'll hopefully come down to like the last event of the year to decide the championship. And that's what I want to see. And 3 different manufacturers. We got a Ducati, we got a Yamaha, and we got a BMW. So everything is coming together really, really nicely, man. I like everything that I've seen. I mean, even the Honda was right there in the top 5 or 6. You know, like Gillen was like, if one of you crash, I'm gonna be in 5th. Like, you know, he was there. Like, just take him out. Just you take him out, and then both of you out, and I'm in the top 3 or 4. Like, but that's what you got to do sometimes. If you don't have the bike to be 100% competitive, just stay close enough and push. And sometimes pushing from the back is just enough for that guy to make that mistake.
Right.
To cut the front. You know, I haven't talked much to Bobby, but the brief conversation we had, he's kind of said that he saw that Herrin was pushing really, really hard in some places to try to stay in front to slow the pace down, to not give Bobby that free rein to kind of set his own pace. And maybe by disturbing Bobby's pace, again, he'll fluster Bobby into making a mistake. And then he ended up making the mistake because he was thinking so hard about keeping Bobby behind him that, you know, he ran in a little bit too hot, overcooked the front tire, and went down. But this is racing, man. You know, this is what real racecraft is you're constantly thinking, man. You're constantly calculating. You're out there on the track calculating. Before you get on the track, you already have ideas. You have plans. If this person's doing this, I'm going to do this. If this person's doing this. So, you know, this is you have no idea the amount of prep, like real prep, on top of the exercise and on top of everything else, like just the prep, the strategy that people sit down and think about. I mean, guys sit down and run the race in their head 2 or 3 times before they ever set foot out of the trailer, because they're trying to think about every possible scenario that can happen. And how do I adjust to that scenario? And how do I adjust to this? And how do I, you know, if this happens, what do I do? So once they're out there riding, it's second nature. They don't have to start processing.
Right. So let me ask this to you guys, and I'll start with Reese. You know, and I'm gonna kind of piggyback off of what Lewis is saying. First, with, you know, Bobby has done something he's never done before. But you also heard Lewis talk about all the planning. Obviously, Reese, you know what goes on more than we do on the inside. So from the beginning of the season, Reese, till now, how are the plans changing? Because he's doing, I mean, he's first year on the bike. He's the lead in the championship. He's the lead in Yamaha. I don't think you guys thought this was what's going to happen when you signed him. Maybe you saw something we didn't. So what is the mood like? I mean, you guys just won over the weekend, so maybe this is going to happen this week. Are things changing much, or is it just business as usual? And you're just looking at those 4 wins as just, hey, we'll take them, but we weren't looking for them?
I mean, we look at it as business as usual. I mean, but then you also you do plan, but then plans change day to day, race to race. You know, when we were like, hey, let's get in the battle. We want to be in the battle. We want to be here. You know, let's finish top 3. Let's be on the podium. We want to be here. Now you're at that sniffing point. You know, you could be like, all right, what are we gonna do here? You know, it's going to change. You know, the plans that we had in the beginning. I mean, we always want to win. That's the number one goal. We are the premier team. We are one of the top teams, but we want to win. You know, we plan. You know, we're not. You know, we're here to win. But now you go into Mid Ohio with a different mindset, a different plan, and you know, we see how it is. The one thing about, like Lewis said, I mean, the Mid Ohio's track, the configuration and the layout of it is almost like a layout of VIR. It's almost like a same kind of layout as VIR. So we go in there with the mindset of, hey, let's go out here, set the pace. You know, let's see how we set up. And I mean, we went out there for testing. We was out there for testing there too. So, let's put it down. Let's put it down.
Okay. What are your thoughts, TJ? Any advice you want to give the Attack Yamaha how to do things differently for the next round?
Buy Suzuki's.
You gotta wait till next year for that one.
You know, because from a fan perspective, right? You're seeing something that hasn't happened, and you're like, you're cheering on, and it's like you don't want to get too excited, right? Because you don't want to jinx it, right?
I mean, so watching Bobby, having the reporter talk to Bobby, they were like, "Yeah, how's it feel to have 3 races in a row?" And and he's just like, "Oh yeah," like he didn't want to talk about it. It was more like he didn't want that pressure or that jinx on him because of where he's at right now is just how humble he is. But I think they're going into the next round. I think it'll be set up really well going into Mid Ohio. I think it's Bobby's show now. I think he can get a 5th. So he's the one to chase. Obviously, he's in the lead. But I just can't wait to the next round to see what's going to happen. But I think it's very impressive. They'll have 4 wins in a row. I don't think anyone expected that. And like I said before, Jay Gagne was always the one that I watched on Attack Yamaha as the lead rider. It's cool to see Bobby stepping in, and I don't want to say helping out Jake, but it's a team effort. It's good to see Attack Yamaha still in the top 5 at least, always every race.
That's what's up.